This is Gene Mortensen with the Oklahoma Golf Association. I'd like to talk to you about Rule 26, which is the rule that applies to water hazards. We have a water hazard as defined, and then there is the second item called the lateral water hazard. I'd like to just talk about what is a water hazard in this particular segment. A water hazard is an area which the committee has defined by the yellow stakes. You can see them, and yellow lines. It's the committee's responsibility to see that all of the areas are properly marked. In this particular case, we have the teeing ground where I'm standing, and then it goes across an island, and then it gets to the surface of the green. The critical point that we must establish if we have a ball in the water hazard is where it last crossed the boundary of the water hazard. In this particular case, you will see I have a boundary here. I have a boundary in front of the island. I have a boundary on the opposite side of the island. And then there's the edge of the green itself. Because we have a water hazard, which is marked by yellow, there are only two options that we have. First is to drop a ball where we last played the original shot. I'm standing on the teeing ground. If I were to tee up a ball, strike it and hit it into the water, one of the options is to play again from here. And since I'm in a teeing ground, it's permissible for me to re-tee the ball. The only other option we have, because it's a water hazard, is to go where we cross the margin or boundary of the hazard and draw an imaginary line from that point to the flagstick and drop on an extension of that line going back away from the hazard. So in a particular example, if we last crossed the water hazard on the opposite side of that island, we would determine that point in a line with the flag, and we would be back on the island playing the next shot. Or we could extend that line as far back as we'd like to go and probably end up to the right over here someplace. Again, it's a water hazard. It's been defined as a water hazard by the committee. They've marked it with yellow stakes and yellow lines, which means we have only those two options. It is not permissible in taking relief under a water hazard rule to drop the ball on the side of the hazard, on the opposite side of the hazard. You must keep the ball, the dropped ball, or the hazard between the ball you will drop and the flagstick itself.